Well, thanks for staying with us on the marketplace. The much talked about $750 million AfriExim loan should be in before Monday. Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Charles Dubois, disclosed this to journalists after meeting with members of the Council of State over current happenings in the economy. The Minister of State assured that government is committed to taking the necessary measures to stabilize the city.
The most important one is about confidence and speculation. We believe that there's a lot of speculative activity that is, creating some unnecessary depreciation in the currency. But we're also taking steps to ensure that we can address some of the concerns, the real concerns that there are with regards to making more hard currency available for importers and for people who are bringing in products and refined products. We also have entered into some arrangements with the mining sector companies and oil and gas companies with regards to they selling their forex to us or to the Bank of Ghana to be able to use to support its reserves position and to honor the imports that they have to do. We believe that all these measures, including the bringing in of the AfriExim facility of $750 million, followed shortly by the cocoa board syndication next month, will help to shore up the currency and stabilize it and reduce all the depreciation we are seeing.
So hopefully by next month we should see a stabilization of
we want to see it happening by next week, not even next month. They should start, the AfriExim facility should be here by Monday at the latest, and that should begin the first step towards making sure that the stabilization occurs.
Guta is not happy about the level of city depreciation. They are about to go close their shops by 29. What will you tell them?
Yeah, I was quite depressed when I heard that, because they implied or said that it was intentional. But I mean, and why would we intentionally depreciate the currency? I mean, what purpose does it serve? It creates a situation where our debts become more expensive, our debt to GDP goes up, we need to find more CDs to service our debts, so our interest expense as a percentage of our revenue goes up. And there are so many reasons why it is not in our interest at all to have a weaker currency. And so we believe that, that perception is unfounded, and we hope that we can engage with Guta to be able to explain to them the challenges that are facing the economy and why we find ourselves in this situation today.
Well, we can hear next from Chairman of the Council of State, Nana Otuo-Siriboa II, who said the meeting with government officials had become critical because of current challenges facing the economy.
The Council of State is an advisory body to the government, and for that matter to any state institution in the country. And naturally, we are disturbed as every other Ghanaian over the state of the economy, particularly the free fall of the cedi relative to the other major currencies. So we can't just sleep. We are the advisors of the government. We need to be informed through us to enable us to prefer the requisite advice and solutions to the government. That is what informed us for this meeting. We are even on recess, but we felt that it was just necessary that we should break our recess and come and interact with them and see the way forward.
Can you kindly share with us some of the resolutions that we've reached in this meeting?
Oh, we didn't make any resolutions. We heard what was the underlying causes. We heard them talk about the short, medium, and long-term solutions that they have in mind, and we approve of those measures. We made suggestions here and there. But I don't think that it is proper that I disclose some of these things that we discussed in camera, externally.
So can you tell us, are you happy about the state of Ghana's economy?
We are not. That is why we made them. And we have been assured that things will get, better, because there are a lot of expectations in the horizon regarding inflows of foreign exchange to show up our liquidity, and for that matter, enable the government, the Bank of Ghana, to give more cedis give more dollars to stabilize the cedi. So this is what they have, and they talked about the AfriExim Bank, about $780 million, which is expected in the next few days, which would go a long way. And I think also that there has been a lot of speculation. People don't, we're not certain as to what was, coming up. So it gave rise to a lot of speculation. People were just buying for buying sake, not that they necessarily needed the dollars. But it's when it starts spiraling like that, you cannot arrest it. So I think that these measures, plus the fact that the cocoa syndicated loan, I understand, will be coming October to December, and the IMF program will also kick in, makes us at least hope for the better.
Okay.
Not that all is lost.
Traders, importers are agitated, and they're planning on closing down their shops. They've been complaining since about 2 weeks now. What would be your word to them, having listened to the state of the economy from these two government officials?
Oh, we have even slated a meeting with Guta for tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock in this very place. And we are going to interact with them. We hope that from what we have heard, the interactions we have with them would make it possible for them to have a second look at their decision to go on strike and probably even call it off entirely. We are meeting with them tomorrow. And I'm looking at it at a very positive meeting with them.
All right, Chairman of the Council of State there, Nana Otuosi, the second on the meeting with government officials over the current economic crisis. Well, some good news though. The first tranche of the cocoa loan syndication is expected to hit Bank of Ghana's account from October this year. This is what Joy Business has picked up from persons with knowledge of the fundraising exercise. Yes, George Rafi with more.
The fundraising team is made up of officials of the Finance Ministry, Bank of Ghana and Cocoa Board, and they are expected to conclude the roadshow for the loan agreement in London today. This should pave way for Cocoa Board to sign the agreement with some international and local banks next month for the $1.3 billion facility. The first tranche of $910 million is expected to hit Bank of Ghana's account in October this year. The drawdown will be made from the Ghana International Bank in London, one of the participating banks in the loan agreement. The second tranche, of $390 million, should be spread over 3 months and should come in from November this year to February 2023. The Bank of Ghana is expected to take these dollars and give the cedi equivalent to Cocoa Board. This is expected to help with cocoa purchases from October this year and finance some infrastructure projects in the sector. The inflows may also help boost Bank of Ghana's reserves, a move that could help in stabilizing the Ghana cedi from next month. Meanwhile, 6 banks are helping Cocoa Board to raise the funds. Now, these institutions are acting as lead arrangers for the facility.
Meantime, the International Monetary Fund will approve the $3 billion financial package for Ghana in the fourth quarter of this year. That's according to First Solutions. This will help alleviate pressure on the country's external position in 2023 and help restore the value of the local currency. Here's more.
In its report dubbed Ghana's weak external position to strengthen unexpected IMF deal, it said Ghana is likely to secure an economic program with the fund in the final quarter of the year, a move that will pave way for financial support for the country, which will come in as a balance of payment support. Despite a widening balance of payments deficit caused by large financial account outflows, Fitch Solutions said it believes that an expected IMF deal will help support the country's external position next year. This will come as a huge boost as it will help slow down the depreciation of the cedi and reduce imported inflation significantly. In the first quarter of this year, capital and financial outflows increased by 188.7% year-on-year to $690 million, driven by net portfolio reversals and foreign direct investments outflows. Fitch Solutions concluded that it expects capital flows to remain in negative territory in the second half of this year, given deteriorating investor sentiment towards Ghanaian assets as reflected by the currency sell-off and rising bond yields.
Well, First Solutions in that report also projected inflation to average 25% this year. And as we know, the hikes in inflation we are seeing is partly as a result of crude oil prices pushing up the cost of transport. So next we turn to the oil market because there is an interesting development. Brent crude hitting 3 digits after selling below $100 a barrel for a while. What is triggering this surge? Joining me, energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Suleimana. And just as we're about to go on air, Doc, Brent crude was trading close to $102 a barrel. What is causing prices to go up?
Yeah, thank you very much, Daryl, and good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to your charity viewers in Ghana and across the globe. Yeah, so certainly this is a development that we were not expecting, especially when the market is already very hot. If we observe the market last 2 weeks, it appears it was trying to settle around the 90s. And so with the 90s, we're hoping that, with the quantitative tightening across the globe going on, that should have been enough to be able to cap all this, to stem, this high rocketing or the skyrocketing of petroleum prices at the pumps, which is probably due to the crude oil prices going up in the international space. However, in recent times or in recent days, I think we are seeing, a gradual increase again. Crude oil has started flirting, around, the 3-digit figure, which is not a good thing. We just hope that it will just flirt around that and come back to the 90s. Because with crude oil prices very high and also, our currency not in very good position, I think it will only bring a lot of pressure on the fight on inflation. And the reason why I think it's going to bring a lot of pressure on the fight on inflation, if it continues in this trajectory or if it stays like this, if you look at this current inflation that we have globally, every inflation or a recession tendency has a driver. And in this case, it's undoubtedly the high energy cost that is driving this high inflation we have globally. And so if you are not able to cap or have control over the high energy cost as we speak now, it means that it's going to be very, very difficult to fight inflation. It is going to be very difficult, which will mean that, the only formula or the most used formula that, economists use to do is to do this, what we call quantitative, easing, where policy rates are high here and out just to increase the interest rate. Yes, that is the method that we have now. But that method is a double-edged sword, rather, because if you're not very careful and you quantitatively tighten yourself to the extent that, the interest rate hikes, we hike the interest rate to the extent that, we could end up, easing ourselves or, tightening ourselves into recession of a sort. So we have to, globally, we have to tread with caution and we have to, approach this surgically. Where we are going to be increasing this, policy rates, we have to be careful that we don't, tighten ourselves into recession. And it is only the formula available as we speak now, because that's the only formula. If inflation is going up, it is interest rates that you hike to be able to, get the inflation to peak. So yes, if this trajectory continues, it means that we might not be getting inflation pressures peaking at any time soon. And that is not so good for the global community.
And we're talking about this. It's not just Brent crude going up in terms of prices. The price of natural gas also skyrocketing.
Yes, that's a fact also. Unfortunately, even though crude was trending downwards, natural gas was trending upward. And the reason being that I think the issue for natural gas issue, it has to do a lot with the Russian crisis. If you observe Russia, Europe depend about 40% of their gas supply, from Russia. And the fallout of this incident came very, very drastically, and it hit Europe, drastically in a way that gas supply to Europe has dwindled drastically. And we are also told that in these coming days, maybe from 31st of October, to early September, gas is going to be zeroed, to Europe. And that's going to be unprecedented. Imagine, though the populace in Europe have been cited that there's a potential that Russian crisis will send gas to zero. But all the same, you see energy costs skyrocketing here and here, everywhere, especially in Europe. So yes, the peaking, the LNG or gas going up, it has a lot to do with Russian crisis because Russia is number 2, gas producer globally. And so to the extent that, they are cutting gas or their gas supply is being stifled, to the global energy community, that will have dire consequences.
You talk about the implications on the fight against inflation. So what are the real options for the global economy in cooling off these inflationary pressures?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. Like I started, every inflation has a root cause. Though there are multiplicity of factors that can bring about inflation, but anyhow you look at it, you say goods and services going up, transportation costs going up, all is because of energy cost. And I think the energy cost is the driver of this inflation. It's undoubtedly, though there are a lot of other variables that is feeding into it. So the immediate thing that comes to mind for me, if the global if the global community can harness efforts to stop Russian crisis, to bring Russian crisis to a halt. In other words, if they can find a lasting solution to Russian crisis. At this moment, it's beginning to take a kind of a status quo where, they don't know where it is going, and the war is trying to be something like that is going to be protracted. But that is not so good for the global energy community. So yes, the immediate thing that comes to mind, if the global energy community could help to solve Russian crisis, and I think the West, they are capable of doing that. If they can help to solve Russian crisis, it is going to be a win-win. And the reason being that if that is done, I think the supply chain dynamic that is currently so constrained, it will be debottlenecked. And so, flow of goods and services will be enhanced. The other thing I also look at globally is possibly to see how, the global community can, coordinate these policy risk hikes. As I see it now, it is almost like everybody for himself or herself and God for us all. Just imagine U.S. tightening, increasing interest rate, and other tightening this, their policy risk. And the unfortunate thing is that they do that to strengthen their currency. And the advanced world, if the currency in U.S. appreciates, it means that the currency in the developing world or those who are highly dependent on the greenback, their currency will weaken. So that's another headwind that is facing us. As long as this quantitative easing continues to persist, it means that U.S. currency is going to continue to be strengthened. And they have right to do that. And that to mean that we are going to be, those who are going to be impacted again, in this kind of thing. So yes, there's going to be hard times, but we hope that, things are going to get tougher, but it will get, before it gets easier, yeah. Yeah,
we just have a minute, so I'll just ask you quickly, what can we do locally? If you ask me, it doesn't excite anymore if prices of Brent crude goes up or down, because right now much is dependent on how our local currency also fares. And with the cedi going down against major trading currencies, we've seen that there's not been much changes when it comes to the price of fuel at the pumps, depending on whether when it goes down. So what are the local strategic options we can be looking at right now?
Yeah, so quickly, if you are no more getting inflows, you need to be able to cut your outflows. It's as easy as that. It's as simple as that. Because now we are not getting inflows because the global, the international space is constrained. Everybody is struggling, so we cannot get the inflows. So the best option is to cut our outflows. Cutting our outflows means that if we can make concerted effort to add value to the raw material, that is fundamental. The news that we carried before, I came in, I saw that a lot of money coming in and stuff like that. That's an excellent thing, but these are short-term measures, Daryl. We need to look at medium to long-term measures. And medium to long-term measures means we simply have to make concerted effort to take advantage of this particular crisis. And what advantage can we take on this particular crisis? Let's make effort to add value to our raw material. And what comes to mind is crude oil. Okay. We have a refinery. Let's get our local refinery into business. And I think that is a serious pressure relief for the city and for most of this element that is running, out of control. Yeah.
Dr. Yusuf Sulemana, energy strategist, appreciate your time with us this afternoon. You're watching The Marketplace. We're taking a short break. When we come back, we'll check out what is happening at the Accra International Conference Center, where the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair is underway. Stay with us. And welcome back to The Marketplace. Scores of patrons and exhibitors have described the 2022 EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair as very impressive so far. According to some of the exhibitors, the number of patrons thronging the fair is commendable, whereas some patrons are calling on others to take advantage of the event. My colleague James Ishen has more.
We're a company that produces good quality and affordable furniture, all made in Ghana. Yes, we also provide reupholstery services, interior decor services, we also sell authentic African arts. Yes.
So today is the first day. How is it going so far?
Well, I think it's a very good turnout. I mean, it's my first time here. I was a bit skeptical about, coming to this fair. But for the first day, I think the turnout is good. I feel like most people coming in here know what they are looking for, and they're coming here for a purpose. So when they come here and you're speaking to them, it's possibly someone who is looking for the service, furniture or interior. So I feel like the turnout is fine. I mean, I've spoken to a few people who say this is usually gets better. So I'm looking forward to a much better tomorrow. But for today, I think I'm really happy so far.
Let's try as much as possible to get other patrons and also exhibitors to know how the very first day of the 13th edition of the EcoBank JoyNews has going. I should believe this is the very first time coming here.
Yes.
How is it going?
Oh, going well. I've seen so many exhibitors around, and I'm just going around to see what I can plan for the future to buy.
What are you buying today?
Actually, I'm not buying, but I want to see the sliding windows, aluminum sliding windows, and see how the benefits, advantages, and disadvantages that it has compared to other ones. So that is what the owner is taking me through.
Right, so I saw how busy he was when we entered. That tells you how the place looked like. What are you guys basically into?
Basically, we are into windows and doors, aluminium, curtain wall, and alucobond cladding. Yes, so we've been in existence for the last 23 years. We are the pioneers in windows, in UPVC windows in Ghana. Honestly, today has been very busy, though it's a first day and it's a working day as well. We are very impressed about the patrons coming in, which we are happy we'll get our reward back from it, our returns from it, yeah.
All right, so it's been a busy day here at the Accra International Conference Center. You see a lot of patrons around, a lot of exhibitors also ready to give you the very best of advice when it comes to anything housing.
Oh, so far so good. We are getting patronages, people are coming in and out, asking questions, taking flyers. So far it's been good. Okay, so we would like to invite everybody here, and especially to our stand. So we have a lot of offer for them, a lot of discount pouring here. So we call on everybody from the north, south, east and west to come here and then make more inquiries and close a deal with us.
But what are your expectations for the 5 day? We are almost done with the first day. The rest of the days, what are your expectations?
Since today is the first day, we are hoping that the second and the third, fourth and fifth day, there's going to be more people coming in to make inquiries and then talking to us. We're
here at the Bamboo Products Limited. Bamboo, that should tell you basically everything they do here has been done out of bamboo. I could see some names here: KJB, Nye, Apesu, Kobe. Anyway, let me just engage the exhibitor and know what this is about. What do you use the bamboo for?
Okay, so the bamboo is used for so many things. We use it in doing fencing, pergolas, shelters, a whole lot. Cups, spoons, balls, lighting. We use bamboo in doing a whole lot. So today being the first day, people are trooping in a gentle way. So I believe by tomorrow there's
great stuff. So that's where you have to be from today through till Sunday, the 2022 EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair. And that's the marketplace. Thanks for watching, everyone. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. The day's latest stories over there, including our top stories. My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for watching. We'll be back same time tomorrow.